There's a section in your book then that details your 9 blocks that make a brilliant beginning. Could you go through those for our lovely listeners, please?
Yes, I can indeed. So, like Ellie said, I think there are 9 important things that everybody should do if they want to create a brilliant beginning. And I break these down into blocks. So block 1 is the invisible question, which is essentially the very first line of your novel. You use a statement in that first line to pose a question in the reader's mind. And a really simple example I can think of for this one is something like the phone rang. Obviously, you'd make it a bit more high stakes than that. But readers are going to instantly want to know who's on the phone. So they'll ask themselves that question. They have to keep reading to find out the answer. So that's the first thing that I would say is important. The second block is what I call the 5 foundations of a relatable protagonist. So essentially, there's a lot of writing advice that says your protagonist should be nice. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this. Nice protagonists for me are a little bit boring. So if we think of something like The Hunger Games, for example, hugely successful series, Katniss is in no way likable. She has redeeming qualities. And I think that's the difference. You create a character with a wound, so something that injured them in the past. In Katniss's case, that would be the death of her father in a mine explosion, for instance. You would give them a scar after her father died. Katniss's mother failed to look after them. They were neglected. She's got a lot of psychological baggage around that. You'd give them something they want. In Katniss's case, it's to win the Hunger Games. Something they need, which in Katniss's case is to learn that she can let other people in and trust other people. And that's the thing that's going to allow her to win, ultimately. And then you'd give them something unique. So a talent that is unique to them. And in Katniss's case, as we all know, that is her proficiency with a bow and arrow. Building block 3 is a character-driven everyday world. So essentially, you filter everything your reader sees through that protagonist scar. That scar will be impacting everything about their life, from how they think about their family, their friends, their home. So that's what you're doing there. The 4th is a transformative lesson. By the end of the novel, hopefully your protagonist will have healed their scar, or at least be on the way to doing so. Building block 5 is all about striking the right tone. And when I say tone, I'm talking about, you wouldn't open a thriller with a love scene, and you wouldn't open a romance with a murder scene, hopefully. So you want to be striking.
Not if you wanted it to be successful, no.
Well, no, that's it. Yeah, if you're hoping for commercial success, murder scenes in a romance, probably not the best way to go.
Sounds like a challenge. Yeah. I might try it.
Give it a go. Let me know if it works, but we'll see.
No, I'm gonna stick with your advice on this, Shane. I think you're right on this one. I'm just wondering you are.
Hopefully. And then building block 6 is all about using the senses to enrich setting. So their sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. What we're trying to do is create a 3D experience for the reader, because they can't see anything, so they have to feel it, essentially. The 7th building block is all about creating realistic antagonists. So similar to your protagonist, you don't want to make your antagonist inherently evil. I think that's a trope that's probably been done to death now. What I would say is that you should make your antagonist realistic. So give them a loving side, give them redeeming qualities, give them someone who loves them back. And most of all, I think whatever their motive is for the thing that they're doing, make it relatable. So make it something that other people can empathize with. And they're the villains that stick with me the most. I don't know about you, Ellie, but I think when I can identify with an antagonist, or at least have sympathy for the reason behind what they're doing, it makes the story all the more powerful.
Absolutely. We've had Sacha Blackmont talk about writing antagonists and evil villains and stuff, and that's exactly what people want. And one of my favorite character arcs is Anakin in Star Wars, because you so relate to why he does what he does. I want to say no spoilers, but I'd like to think everyone's watched Star Wars by now and know what I'm talking about.
Everyone's seen it, right?
I hope so. It's only been around 40 odd years. But yeah, he does the wrong thing for the right reason. You can so relate to him and still want him to win, even though he's doing something terrible, right?
Yeah, completely, because he's doing it for the woman he loves at the end of the day. So that is classic. Give them somebody they love and someone who loves them in return, and make that the reason they're doing the thing